Recently I was reading Geshe Sonam Rinpoche's book on the three principal aspects of the path, and in one of the verses it's talking about the eight worldly concerns, and a couple of things that he wrote really struck me. One is, and I'll read it, whenever we do something motivated by one of the eight worldly concerns, that action produces the result of cyclic existence. Whenever we do an action that's not motivated by the eight worldly concerns, that action will produce a result of liberation and enlightenment. And I guess on one level it's like, well, yeah, duh, but you know, when you think about all of our actions, I don't know about you, but so many of my actions are influenced by the eight worldly concerns. And these are attachment to worldly possessions, and then getting upset and angry when we lose them or they break or we're not around them. And then attached to praise and approval, and averse to blame and criticism, attached to a good reputation, and averse, of course, to a bad reputation, and then attached to sense pleasures, and then reactive or upset when we are not getting the sense pleasures that we are looking for. And so when you start looking at one's life, you know, so many of our actions are motivated by these eight worldly concerns. And then in the book he also quotes something that Nagarjuna wrote in a letter to a friend. He writes, "Worldly wise one, the eight worldly concerns are getting and not getting, happiness and unhappiness, fame and disrepute, praise and blame. Without letting them be objects to your mind, treat them as the same." And so how could we practice that? You know? So then we really have to start delving into identifying our attachment and how that arises in our mind, and really looking at how we start to exaggerate the worth of something and then go for it and then experience it and then have the letdown because we exaggerated it to begin with. And so it's quite a complicated process, at least for me, to kind of work on identifying when my mind is running with attachment. And one of the things he writes is, "It is essential to stop the habit of thinking, if only I could have this, then everything would be fine." And so how many times do we do that in the day? You know, if only I get this organized or set this way, then I'll be okay. You know, my mind does that quite a lot. So to start working on identifying when we are getting so attached to things, and to start decreasing that attachment, then actually what happens is we're freed up to actually enjoy whatever comes our way. And then when it's finished, we just let it go. We don't have a reaction to it. So may we all really keep that in mind as we go through our day, and can watch our mind to see where we're starting to exaggerating the worth of something. Because the moment we do that, when we start getting that anticipating mind, invariably then we will be met with some suffering of disappointment. And so to start kind of looking at those two parts of the mind and our reactions, I think is quite helpful. So may we have the clarity to be able to see when attachment arises in our mind.